Hello, everyone. In today's show, I want to talk about motivation. What motivates you? Is it people? Is it your dreams? Is it your desires? Is it the divine being in you? Is it the hope for the future? Is it your family, your children, your your physical possessions? Or what is it that motivates you? Is it people that you look up to? Is it the accomplishment that you are going after? What is it that motivates you? Motivation should come from within you. You should be the number one person that motivates yourself. Sometimes it can be hard to be motivated. And what do you do in those times, in those periods when you are down or either physically, mentally, spiritually, and otherwise, and you feel that there's no way out? How do you motivate yourself? Do you motivate yourself by looking to the future and seeing the hope that lies ahead, the success that lies ahead, the crown that lies ahead, or you just give up on the present moment, the present pressure that is pushing you down or that is challenging you? To me, this is how I deal with challenges and when I need to motivate myself. And this is what I use mostly. Firstly, I try to differentiate or separate my physical being from the real me. And secondly, I read a book that says Paul was writing, he said, I forget those things that are behind me and I move forward. So I press forward towards those things that are before me, towards the mark of high calling. What is your high calling? Your career, your family, your health, your business, your your friends, folks, and everything that lies ahead of you. Those are the calling. Those are the high calling. So therefore, I do know that it can be hard to really motivate oneself. So therefore, we all are looking for someone who kind of been there, done that, or somebody who has certain words for us, or somebody we can look up to, or waiting for a motivational speaker or an encouragement speaker to come tell us we can do it before we know we can do it. Going back to my first thing on how I motivate myself, which I said a few seconds ago, that I try to separate my physical being from the real me because we are all divine beings. We all are divine. There is real us, and there is a coat that we wear or clothes that we wear to cover that real person. And the coat that we wear to cover that real person or the real us is our skins, the bones, the veins, the eye, the ears, all the physical attributes of a human being. Now, it's only the physical attributes of us needs to be motivated. The real us, which is a divine being, doesn't need any motivation because the real you, which is the I in you, the letter I in you, the I in you needs no motivation, need not be motivated. The I in you because I read a book that says the Jeremiah had a conversation, and he said to Jeremiah, the divine being said to Jeremiah, even before you were formed in your mother's womb, I knew thee. I knew thee. So our real self, which means the conscious I in us, that conscious I in us never dies. That is why when we, for example, when our physical being, our coat that we use to cover the physical being dies, the I in us never dies. The I in us lives on forever, for eternity. And the I in us is the one that enables us to move our hands, move our legs, enables us to talk, enables us to think, is the I in us, our mind, that enables us to do anything that we do here on earth. The I in us, the real you, the I in you, the I in me, is the life in us, is the breath that we take. It is that I in us that sustains us throughout our journey or throughout our sojourning here on earth, throughout our physical being sojourning on earth. Because the I in us knows everything. So the way I deal with motivation is I go back every time I want to motivate myself, is I try to let my physical being, my mortal body, the coat that covers me, I try to silence it. How do I do that? Is to say to the desires and the needs of the coat in me, to say that there is time for everything. Second of all, you must know that the I in me knew me ever before I was created. So therefore, the I in me can never fail me. I would say to my physical being, the I in me knows the end from the beginning. So therefore, and there is time for me to have that, because the I in me is never poor, the I in me is never sick, the I in me is never jealous, the I in me is never envy, the I in me is never fearful, the I in me is never scared, the I in me never cheats, the I in me never lies, the I in me is never proud, the I in me is compassionate, the I in me is empathetic, the I in me is graceful, the I in me is loving, the I in me is strength, the I in me is creative, the I in me is intelligent, the I in me is wisdom, the I in me is understanding, the I in me is powerful, the I in me is understanding. So therefore, there is no way you, the physical being, can overpower or can override the I in me. So therefore, be still and listen to the I in me. Sometimes I wake up 3 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning, sometimes 2:30 in the morning. I spend half an hour, sometimes an hour, sometimes 2 hours, depends, sometimes 20 minutes, depends on how that day goes or whatever. And I try to communicate with the I in me. I try to let the I in me, do the work because I read a book that says, I am my father, I won. So therefore, and if me, myself, and the I in me, which is the divine being, are one, there is no way I cannot get that which is being put in me through the divine mind in me. So therefore, I have to wait and be patient because I also read a book that says, be anxious for nothing. Be anxious for nothing. But in everything, give thanks. Be anxious for nothing. Most of us, I used to be, I used to be in this category I'm about to mention now, and that is impatient. Some in the past, some years back, before I started training myself and learning to be patient, I used to be in a hurry. I want everything now. Whatever I want it now. And whenever I'm doing something that doesn't come out, that doesn't come the time I want it to come out, I will be so mad. I will be so, I'll go nuts. I just go crazy until I began to learn, until the I me began to teach me how to wait upon Him, just to wait and listen to Him, because the I in me is wisdom. The I in me is never, never, ever late or ever fail. It's impossible. If we can learn to depend on the I in us, because the real us, just imagine, I'm talking right now and I'm talking to you, the physical being of me. Sooner than later we get tired, but the I in me never gets tired. Even when I'm tired, the I in me still bring up things that I should say, because the I in me is never tired. The I in me never sleeps, because I also read a book that says the I never sleep nor slumber. That he that keepeth you, he that keepeth me, never sleeps nor slumber. So if he never sleeps, and that as a result of that, and that statement is so true, because imagine we all sleep. Whenever and every time we sleep, practically and all the time we dream. Of course, some of us don't remember what we dream or what we've seen or things like that, but we must see something and we must be awake, because the I in us never sleeps. It is always awake. So therefore, if we tap into the I in us anytime we need motivation, it will supply us the answer. It will supply us the strength. It will supply us by its divine wisdom, because it's accurate in on time, whatever and whenever you need Him, He will respond to you without support, without aid. And it comes and will supply you with the right answer, the right supply. But the caveat is, can you learn to wait? Can you learn to tap into that divine wisdom? Can you learn to tap into divine creativity? Can you learn to tap into divine understanding? Can you learn to tap into divine compassion? Can you learn to tap into that divine love? Because it's an infinite. The I in us is infinite consciousness. It's infinite consciousness. I'm not talking about consciousness that you go to your GP or whatever, or you have an accident, and or you want to go through an operation. Your physical being wants to go through an operation, and they give you some anesthetics, and so therefore you become unconscious, and some people call that consciousness. That you're unconscious, or you're not conscious. That is not consciousness. Consciousness is awareness of your infinite being, the I. That is consciousness. Are you aware? When you are aware of the infinite consciousness in you, infinite consciousness of love, because love is infinite, love is endless. When you are aware of infinite consciousness of supply, because supply is endless, supply is infinite. Why? Because when one door closes, another door opens. Because supply never finishes. There will always be supply. So there is no way, and there's no reason why anyone should get stuck. Why anyone's physical being should get stuck in something and say, oh, I don't have that, or I don't have that, I don't have that, or I can't have that, or I'm stuck. I've heard a lot of folks say, oh, they're stuck with this, or they're stuck in that, or they're stuck with whatever. There's no reason for anyone to be stuck in love, because you have infinite consciousness of supply. When I say consciousness is the awareness, is the understanding that your supply is endless, your supply is infinite, because the I in you never dies. So, and you also have to remember that you have infinite consciousness of creativity, infinite consciousness of anything on earth, of understanding, of wisdom, infinite consciousness of beauty, infinite consciousness of love, infinite consciousness of understanding, infinite consciousness of wisdom, infinite consciousness of power, infinite consciousness of compassion, infinite consciousness of grace, infinite consciousness of meekness, infinite consciousness of empathy, infinite consciousness of abundance, infinite consciousness of health, infinite consciousness of power. If you are aware, when you become aware of the infinite consciousness of health, COVID-19 will never ever scare you. I repeat that again. When you become aware, and when you become aware of the infinite consciousness of health in you, knowing that a divine I in you is never sick, knowing that the divine I in you is ever, always, for eternity healthy, then COVID-19 will never scare you. Neither any other sickness or disease on earth ever scare you. But you must be aware, because the moment, the second, the hour, and the day you become aware of that consciousness, of that infinite consciousness of health in you, or you become aware of that infinite consciousness of wealth, of health, of love, of mercy, of compassion, of grace, of creativity, of wisdom, of understanding, of knowledge. When you become aware, when you become aware of that infinite consciousness of love, that is the day hate vanishes from your heart, vanishes from you. That is the day racism vanishes from you, discrimination vanishes from you. That is the day lack leaves you. That is the day fear evaporate, disappear forever from you. That is the day any shortage of wisdom, any shortage of understanding, any shortage of empathy, any shortage of meekness, any shortage of compassion, any shortage of knowledge, any shortage of power, any shortage of intelligence. That is the minute, that is the day, that is the hour any shortage disappears from you, because you now realize on how to tap into the infinite abundance, into the infinite consciousness that is in you to receive all that you need here on earth. Because the moment you become aware of the I that is in you, that is the day you will never wait for any man or any woman to motivate you. That is the day you will never ever wait for anyone to encourage you. That is the day or the minute or the hour you will never ever wait, be demotivated, or waiting for one speaker or another speaker to tell you that you can do something before you realize you can do it. Because you know that you have the I in you. And if you can tap that into that infinite I in you, the infinite intelligence in you. I want to say something here. The people or the persons that you're waiting for to motivate you or to encourage you, have you ever asked yourself, who is this person? How did this person get this knowledge or this ability? This person manufactured this ability. This person was able to tap into the infinite in him or in her. Have you ever asked yourself about the successful people in business, in sport, in every endeavor in life, doctors, nurses, and in management, in government, and things like that? It's not because they're superhuman beings. I mean, physically, it's not because they're physically they're superhuman beings. No, the only secret was because they were able to tap into the I in them, and as a result, learn in relying on the I in them. They have patience. They believe in the I in them and what they're doing or what they set out to do. That the I in them, which is the infinite consciousness of that thing that they're about to do, we guide them, and they believe in the guidance of that infinite consciousness in them to guide them to success, because that I in you, that the I in me, that infinite consciousness of that thing you're about to do is already successful. Because I also read a book that says, so he knows the ending from the beginning. So he already finished, he already knows the end. before he ever started it. Therefore, you have to realize that whatsoever you are, your physical being on earth, your physical body wants on earth, that very thing, either a car, a house, a plane, a business, a career, a wife, a husband, a son, a daughter, a clothes, shoe, whatever it is that you want, health, peace, love, whatever it is, it's already been accomplished by I in you. And the I in you is waiting for your recognition of the accomplishment of that thing in you, of that thing that you desire. So it becomes very imperative that we all need to know the power of the I in us, because when we become aware of that infinite consciousness of whatever that our physical being wants, which has already been accomplished by the I in us, then we have no worries. We have worries because our physical being, our eyes, our ears, our nose, our mouth, our heads, our legs, our hands, don't believe that the infinite consciousness of the I in us. Yet it is the infinite consciousness of the I in us is moving those are physical part of us here on earth. Yet the physical part of us here on earth don't believe the I in us. It's an irony. But until you realize and begin to direct, because with the power of with the infinite power of your infinite consciousness in you, or with the awareness of the infinite consciousness, you can direct every area of your life. You can direct every aspect of your physical being to respond and to listen and to yield to the command of the I in you, to yield to the command to the I in me. That is what I do. And none of these things I see moves me. It's a great affirmation. None of the things I see moves me. And when you are down, or when your physical being is down, you have to remember that the I in you is up. The I in you is waiting. The I in you is ready to spring into action. The I in you is waiting for your command. The I in you is waiting for execution, that to execute that which has already been accomplished, that which he has already accomplished, to bring it to your physical being, to bring it to your physical body, so that your eyes can see, your ears can hear it, your hands can touch it, your feet can play with it, because they've already all been accomplished. He has already done it all for you and for me. So friends, I just hope that this little podcast would help anyone to discover and become aware of the I in them, the infinite consciousness in them, that infinite power. Because when you become aware of that infinite consciousness of everything in every area of our lives here on earth, then you if you become aware of that, then there's no point to be demotivated, to fear, to lack, to be discouraged, because you have all the powers in you. And with that, you also take responsibility in terms of you have to let the past go. Let the dead bury the dead. Stop going back to your past. The past is gone and is gone forever. You cannot reverse yesterday. You cannot bring back yesterday. No matter how hard you try, you can't bring back even the last few seconds. You can't bring them back. So why do you have to dwell, or why do you have to be held captive? Let it go. It has happened. It has happened. So be it. But now that you are aware of your infinite consciousness, of your infinite being, of the I in you, all things are new. All things are new.